Unfortunately, the weather's packed up us on a bit, so both coaches have probably changed game plan. They're going to kick a lot, force errors down inside the opposition's 22, and just hope that, you know, the sides can hang on till the end.
What about the pressure of grand final football and also with this wet weather stuff?
Well, the pressure's going to be on both sides, whether it was fine or dry, and it's a team that's going to be able to concentrate for the 80 minutes, less errors, and just keep going till the final whistle. That's going to really count.
Well, it really is a bit of a grudge match today because the Leopards beat the Tigers last year in the semi-finals, but Northcote have beaten Otahuhu 4 times this year, so they're going into the game without a loss against the opposition. Psychologically, they must start as the hot favourites.
Psychologically, they do, but all those games don't count now, Clint. It's down to 80 minutes of football, and, you know, both sides are going to really go out for it.
Okay, we'll be back and on screen with all the big game at 5 to 4, so join us on our 3-league special. We'll see you then from Carlo Park.
Good afternoon, welcome back. I'm Neil Walker, and coming up right after our show today, don't forget to stay tuned as Owen Wright and Clint Brown bring you the Auckland Rugby League Grand Final between Otahuhu and Northcote from Carlo Park. So keep it here for more top sports still to come this afternoon. Now let's take a look at what else is coming up on Win Sport over the next 2 hours. We're off to Wellington.
Welcome to the big league.
There isn't much of that grand final experience. Do you think that will play on their game today?
Not really. I'd say they've got a good leader in Tony Tumavavi. He can handle pressure and he can calm the boys down and he can rise to the occasion. So he's a good leader and they all respect him. They all look up to him. So it's just up to our boys to tackle.
Fullback David McIntosh leaves up the line-out for the Northcote Tigers. Hoppe and Don Stewart on the wings. Campbell and Cal Lima in the centres. Then there's David McIntosh, no relation to, I should say Ken McIntosh, no relation to David. Standoff. Galbraith at halfback. Morton comes in for the injured Michael Davies in prop, followed by Greer and Lowry rounding out the front row. Palmada and Marchi in the second row. Captain today, rounding out the starting 13, Tony Tuamavavi. Coach is Graham Norton, who's actually been coached before by Joe Gwynn. So has he learned a few tricks from the master?
It's going to be a good thing in some respects that we haven't really got an escape route or any excuses to lose it. You know, like they may have a few, so we're going to be. It's on the back of everybody's mind that we don't want to be totally embarrassed. Well, we won't be embarrassed, but you know, we're going to go there with that extra little bit.
I guess on the downside, you have a reasonably young team with not much grand final experience. Well, actually, no grand final experience.
Maybe, but they've certainly proven that they can win football. We've got really good speed. We've got strong, hard-working forwards up front, and you know we've got everything there to win the game. We've got a good kicking game, and we've got some stars, and so you know we've got all the ingredients.
How hard is it to cut down someone like Kelly Shelford, who is obviously very good on the bus?
It's really hard, but like we've got 13 guys against 13 guys, and that's just a matter of everyone taking their opposition out. So,
who are the key members on your side today, Stu?
There's our forward pack, the whole forward pack. Really the whole team. As long as we knit as a team, we haven't really got any individuals. But we just play as a team and go from there.
Comments there from the Tiger camp. Well, one man who's had a fair amount to do with the Tiger camp over the years from the other side of the field is Kiwi second rower Dean Lonergan. And Dean, who do you see as the big game players for the Tigers this afternoon?
Forward, you're definitely going to have to fire. Jason Lowry up front will be a handful for Otahuhu. And 2 hard workers in the second row loose forward is Tony Tumavavi, who's probably pound for pound the biggest hitter in the game today in New Zealand. And Loy Marchi, who's had a lot of experience, and Loy's about 26 years of age now at the peak of his abilities. He'll be hard to hold down. In the backs, obviously Stewie Galbraith, Kiwi trialist, a lot of experience there, been to England. And obviously Dave McIntosh, who's the Auckland competition's top try scorer this year. Top point scorer. He'll have a big impact on the game today, and his kicking ability will come into it a heck of a lot.
Dean Lonergan joining us for expert comments on the sideline today, along with Owen Wright. When we come back, kick-off in the grand final of the Lion Red Auckland League Premiership on 3 Sport.
Welcome to the big league.
It's fun, it's energetic, it's a happening.
Welcome to the big league and our three sports special today, the grand final of the Auckland Lion Red League Premiership. We've had the cheerleaders, the marching girls, the skydivers and the little fellas from Junior League. But now it's ready for the big cats, and there is the road to the final. And Mount Albert picked up a good win over Richmond there in the minor semi-final, but Northcote getting the high road through to the final today with that win over the Otahuhu Leopards, 24-8. Otahuhu have had the tough road, the defending premiers, with wins over the Mount Albert Lions and also the Richmond Bulldogs. So we square off for the grand final of the Fox today between two of the great teams of Auckland Rugby League, and there is Tony Tuamavavi, the Auckland captain, missed out on a chance to play for the Kiwis this year, and he said his main aim was to win the Fox and to guide some of the younger, inexperienced players for the Tigers. 9 newcomers in the lineup today playing their first grand final up against, of course, the Otahuhu Leopards. So his main aim today, Tony Tuamavavi, is to guide his team for the big win. Number 6, Kelly Shelford. He's the Leopards captain. He's another key playmaker for the Otahuhu Leopards. And Owen Wright. We see there David McIntosh just looking down at Kelly Shelford. We've talked about his role. He's got that injured knee, which he injured in the game against Northcote in the major semi-final. And he says the operation can wait till after today's game. He's been nicknamed the poacher. How important is his role going to be today?
Talking to Joe Gwynn today, Clint, he's talked about Kelly's injury, and unfortunate time for Kelly to get an injury at this time of the year with finals coming up. But Kelly's been real serious about this game, and, you know, I think he's going to play a major part in the game. The guys in front of them have got to do the work, Clint, for Kelly to come into the game.
Weather conditions at the moment, surprisingly good. We've had a combination of sun and showers so far today. There's been a lot of talk about kicking game and wet weather football. With a start like this, how do you think the first 10 minutes are going to go?
The first 10 minutes is going to be real crucial to both sides because the forward packs are going to test one another out. The kicking game's going to come into play. Unfortunate for Otahuhu with Kelly with that injury because he's one of their main kickers. David McIntosh for Northcote will be kicking a lot, and that's what it's going to come down to. A war of kicking the football down the other end of the field, forcing errors on each other.
We've talked a bit about some of the injury changes forced upon both teams, and Jeff Morton comes into number 16, replacing Michael Davies for the Northcote lineup. Now he's more of a back. He switched to the forwards and he's starting off at prop. I mean, that's a bit of a risk, do you think, for Jeff Graham Norton?
Unfortunate for both sides that their preparations have been hindered by injuries to key players. Andrew Brown and Michael Davies been injured for Northcote, but, you know, Jeff Morton, I'm sure Graham Norton's got a lot of confidence in him, so he'll do well for them.
And, of course, the Otahuhu Leopards have had to make a couple of late changes with Taliti Leabar being forced out and Jack Temawana. So both teams have been injury hit as they go into the top 5 playoff. The last time they met, Northcote won 24-8. And we are just about set now for today's big game in the grand final of the Lion Red Auckland League Premiership. Northcote going for their grand final number title 3 after wins with Mike McLennan back in 89 and 87, both over the Mangere East Hawks. But Otahuhu, with 9 championships behind their belts, they've really got that experience too about big-time football, haven't they?
Oh, both sides, you know, have got big experienced players. Stewie Galbraith and that all been overseas playing. But what it comes down to now is they've got to put everything behind them from the season and just concentrate for 80 minutes of football.
Referee today is Billy Shrimpton as the two captains make the toss. Tony Tuamavavi deciding which way to play. The first 40 minutes, no doubt, will be crucial. Joining us today, besides expert comments from Owen Wright, Dean Lonergan, the big Kiwi second rower, for sideline comments. And Dean, how do you see the pitch conditions here at Carlaw Park?
They're not too bad, actually, Clint. There's been a bit of sun out here in the last 20 minutes, and I don't think they'll detract from the football at all. You know, we're going to see a good, hard, open running game.
OK, Dean Lonergan will be keeping us up with the play. The call from the coaches, some of the substitutions and the changes today as Kelly Shelford marshals the troops, and Dean Clark is about to get set to kick off for the grand final for 91. This is where the talking stops and the action starts as we get down to the last 80 minutes to decide who is the best team in the Lion Red Auckland League Premiership for this year. The Leopards against the Tigers. It's the battle of the big cats. Pressure moment. Otahuhu playing with the sun in their face in the first half. No real wind advantage at the moment. Dean Clark, no doubt, looking a bit nervous. He's on 89 points so far. He needs 11 points to bring up the 100 for him this year for the Leopards. While the main kicker...
Dean, much wind conditions down there at the moment.
And there's the kickoff. And now the battle of the big cats has begun as Northcote takes it up to the quarter line. Jason Lowry gets the first tough taste of grand final football. Early defence from the Otahuhu Leopards, swarming in on Tony Tuamavavi. Greer from dummy half to Jeff Morton.
What they can't afford to do, Clint, is give away silly penalties early in the piece.
Now the Tigers just settling it down, right through the backs. Once again, Jason Lowry, the young prop, doing the hard stuff first up.
Good set of 6 so far. Northcote giving all their forwards a taste of the football.
Here comes the kicking game, and it's Stu Galbraith who's going to drill it down the sideline. Taken by Kevin Puliata. Heads it back up towards the halfway. Plenty of chases there for the Tigers, and plenty of strong defence. Now, Otahuhu. Jimmy Paul. Hits it up towards halfway. Riley. Little short ball to Dean Noble. Good solid defence too by the Tigers. Otahuhu, first touch of the ball. Mark Riley. Aaron Pilele. Swarming defence. We've talked a bit about just how crucial the defence pattern is going to be for both teams as Harvey Mason ducks over halfway. Riley, Shelford. The referee says, what's he done? The linesman actually comes in. Did you spot anything in the play of the ball at all?
Looks like it's an Otahuhu player.
Now Harvey Mason is asking the question.
Pushing players in the marker area. That's dumb football because Otahuhu had the football. We're going to kick it down the park, get field position. Now they're going to end up defending.
So the first penalty goes the way of the Northcote Tigers, and David McIntosh will go for field position. Using the breeze at his back and the sun at his back in the first half for the Tigers. Just looking at the flags, they're starting to move just a bit as Donnie Stewart hits it up towards the quarter line. Hit by the Leopards defence. Morton coming in as the late replacement for the injured Michael Davies on the quarter line. Now they switch around. Greer inside the quarters. So the danger zone now is Tony Tuamavavi at dummy half. They go the short side to Galbraith, long ball. There's Tuamavavi now. Short pass, gets it to Donnie Stewart, and there's the first try of the match. The Tigers draw first blood in the battle of the big cats. And that was pretty easy down the short side.
Good play by Northcote. Took the ball to the middle of the field, made Otahuhu defend both sides, and then just got out on the fringes.
So, right about 3 minutes gone, and already the hot favourites, the Northcote Tigers. As you see there, Tony Tuamavavi just slipping a lovely ball to Donnie Stewart. And he says, thank you very much. I'll settle the nerves and put the Tigers in front.
That's what wingers are there for, to finish off. Tony Tuamavavi does all the good work, gets on the outside of Aaron Pilele. Winger says, thank you, Tony, I'll put it down and start the game off on a good note for us. Here we see Tony Tuamavavi breaking the tackle off Daryl Beasley and Aaron Pilele, offloading to Donald Stewart. Stewart does what a winger should do, get around behind the post, puts it down nicely.
Well, an unbelievable start for the Northcote Tigers. I think that must have been Marchi from the play of the ball and not Tony Tuamavavi, because they look pretty similar.
Yeah, they put a good play on there. You know, it all come from an Otahuhu error from the free kick. Just went downfield, got field position in the middle of the park, and then just got on the fringes of Otahuhu.
Now, David McIntosh, can he add the extra 2 points? No, he can't. McIntosh, who's kicked 189 points so far for the Tigers in his first year with the team. So it's the Northcote Tigers who lead by 4-0 over the Otahuhu Leopards.
That's the start that Graham Norton would have been looking for.
Now it's Jason Palmata. Almost loses the ball, gives it back to Sean Hoppy. Up towards the quarter line for the Tigers. Wayne Davis, number 12, going in for Otahuhu. Harvey with the tackle. Now it's McIntosh, just unloads a little ball to Palmada. He's hit by good defence from Dean Noble. Important part here for the Leopards that they can pin the Tigers down on defence and try and strike back straight away.
Yeah, Otahuhu got to start making the tackles. They're falling off a few at the moment, letting Northcote offload balls.
Greer to Galbraith, to Mavavi standing out wide again, dictating the play, the captain for the Tigers. Referee rules there'll be a scrum, and feet goes to Otahuhu.
Forced error there by Otahuhu. Good defence, you know. They probably had a chat about it down underneath the goalpost and decided to stiffen up the defensive patterns.
So it's Mark Riley with the quick feet. Stewie Galbraith and Riley. Battle of the halfback. That's going to be another interesting battle today because two very quick players.
Very good players, and, you know, Mark Riley picking up half breaks is going to be very dangerous.
Darryl Beasley bursting into the Northcote Tigers. Caught it. Harvey to Riley. Almost at walking speed. There's the long ball. Kelly Shelford, the playmaker. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Now, Dean Noble tries to do the switch. Look to the short side. Out to Riley. Long ball out to Des Meyer. The first touch for the number 13. Another talented player for the Otahuhu Leopards. Defence holding so far. Shelford, long ball out to Dean Clark. Chips in for the corner. McIntosh coming across. And he slaps it back for the dead ball. The goal line dropout.
Good set of six there by Otahuhu, just working the ball around. Brought Kelly Shelford into the play and then put the ball in goal. David McIntosh was forced to put it there.
Here's Dean Clark, one of the big stars for the Otahuhu Leopards. A nice little wee chip. McIntosh realised with the chasers right on him, he had no choice but to make it go dead. So it's 6 minutes gone in the grand final, and the referees pulled them up for a man in front.
That's schoolboy stuff, that. Offside from the restart of play. Going to let Otahuhu back into the game here now.
So, costly errors. As you can see, the big crowd. Not a bad crowd too, getting up to around about 6,000 to 7,000 here for the grand final today. This is a chance for the Otahuhu Leopards now with that mistake. Both teams making a few costly mistakes. Both coaches no doubt aware that they've got to cut back on those errors.
Errors are going to play a very important part in the game, and the team that makes the least errors will come out on top. But, you know, that was just silly football by Northcote. They had done everything right to start the game with, scored a good try, soaked up the pressure from Otahuhu, forced a goal line dropout, and just come up with a silly error. Dean Clark should convert this.
So Dean Clark, can he add the extra 2 points? It should be a mere formality right in front here at Kowloon Park. And Clark slides it just to the right. And the Leopards are on the board, the defending premiers. So now it's the Northcote Tigers over the Otahuhu Leopards. Northcote up by 4-2. 8 minutes gone in the grand final. Now here's Kenny McIntosh, no relation to the fullback David McIntosh, to restart for the Tigers. This time there's no one in front of the kicker. Goes down to Michael Graham. Little wee short pass to Rusty Martua, heading it up towards the quarter. Jimmy Paul, long ball to Des Meyer. Offloads back to Paul. Can he get it out to Pelele? The chance here is Rusty Martua sees some open spaces. Puts the kick in. McIntosh takes it well. Martua up there chasing his own kick and gets the tackle. Northcote rallying back in defence. High tackle from Des Meyer. Stu Galbraith doesn't like it. The referee's gone. The call has gone from Billy Shripton. He's going to settle it down and call out big Des Meyer for the coat hanger.
Bit of a reaction thing here. Des Meyer coming off the angle to spot the player coming up through the ruck area. Maybe a little bit high. Billy Shrimpton's probably putting control on the game straight away. Here it is there.
Palmada copping the one just around the bottom part of his head. So another penalty in the favour of the Northcote Tigers. And they're back into great field position with Greer. Hands it off to the try scorer, Donnie Stewart, making the yardage. Now a lovely ball back to Jeff Morton.
Otahuhu got to stop them offloading.
Greer to Jason Lowry. Can he find an offload? He does so to Tony Tuamavavi. Back to Greer. Long ball out to McIntosh. He's hit by Desmeyer. Makes up for that penalty. Good defence. Now they run the short side. Palmana hitting it up to the quarter line again, and once again hit by two Otahuhu defenders. Daryl Beasley all over it. Long ball. That's a Galbraith. McIntosh, short ball. Gets a chance. Tony Tuamavavi. Can he link up? Desmeyer makes the desperation tackle. Last tackle.
Should go
There's
up
a
this
chance
one.
with Lowry. Back inside to Marchi. And he can't offload. So the referee says that's the sixth. Hand over for Otahuhu.
Northcote had a good chance here. 6 tackles, but, you know, they should not turn the ball over because it's going to be easy for Otahuhu now.
All right, big start here for Michael Graham. The fullback takes it up. Pressure zone for the Leopards. Some of the players just standing around gathering their breath at the moment too. Sideline eye, Dean Lonergan. It's been a pretty tough start for both teams, but those errors proving costly, Cowboy.
Yeah, certainly, especially that one for Northcote down here. That was an extremely stupid thing to do, and they're going to have to pick up their act if they want to take this grand final away. They're doing some great work, but they're going to have to cut down those errors.
Is there much talking going on amongst the players on the field?
Yeah, there seems to be quite a bit out there. There's a lot of, as you say, a lot of communication going on, and both sides have come up with some pretty good football so far.
McIntosh. More comments from Dean Lonergan throughout the game today. Sun shining at the back of the Tigers. Sean Hoppe hitting it up towards 30 metres out from their own goal line. Greer. No one with them. Darts away from dummy half.
Both sides seem to be a bit disorganised around the ruck areas at the play of the ball at the moment.
Now Palmana. One of the hard-working second rowers. Former West Coaster and junior Kiwi. Galbraith trying to duck away, flicks the pass away. Palmana going for the long ball, almost cut out by Dean Clark, but Lowry kept it alive. Now they keep it alive, going out to Marchi. He can't get away from Dean Clark. Here comes the kick. Slides off the boot from the Northcote player. Kevin Pugliana's going to pick it up. And there's no one chasing up for Northcote. So he says, thank you very much. I'll hit it up towards halfway. Now Riley, short ball to Jimmy Paul. Dean Noble on the charge.
They're looking
by
for
3 defenders.
Looking more for that yardage off the play of the ball there. Good run.
Michael Graham from the play of the ball. Otahuhu just working into good field position. Long pass out to Kelly Shelford. Gets a lovely pass away to Dean Clark. And DC can't hold on to it. The muddiest part of Carlaw Park. And a chance may have gone begging for Otahuhu. Lovely ball here from Kelly Shelford. He really is the game breaker for the Leopards. And as you see there, Dean Clark is...
Kelly Shelford just showing his skills here, drawing a player to him. Dean Clark running in the hole.
So Northcote back with the ball from the scrum. Cal Lima. Good battle out too in the centres between the number 3s, 2 little fellas in the team. Cal Lima and Daryl Beasley. On the play of the ball. Referee says there's no penalty there.
You know, players lying in the ruck area, that's a dead set penalty there. They got to clear the ruck area straight away.
Morton gives the long ball back at it. Almost knocked on. The desperation dive by McIntosh. The crowd on the far side of Carlaw Park thought there was a knock-on. The referee, Billy Shrimpton, says no. Northcote taking it up towards the halfway. Greer with the ball. Offloads to Palmana. Still trying to keep it alive, but going nowhere now.
Northcote at the moment seem to be using the whole width of the pitch, going from one side to the other, probably just trying to drag Otahuhu across, looking for openings.
McIntosh drilling the ball way down into Otahuhu territory. Michael Graham taking it up towards the 22. Offloads to Rusty Matua. He's had some good runs and scored some great tries in the playoffs. One of the players to watch out for as you get some green acres. Pugliana, the other winger, he can't handle the ball.
It's not very noticeable at the moment. The 2 forward packs are slowing down quite a bit. And what, we've only gone into the game 15 minutes.
It's Otahuhu taken away with Kelly Shelford to Mark Riley. Voted the best and fairest players last year by the Referees Association. Wrapped up by his opposite number, Stewie Galbraith. Another chance for Otahuhu. Jimmy Paul offloads a great ball to Kelly Shelford. And it goes to Aaron Palele. Back to Shelford. Here's a chance with Clark. Pushes up Logan Campbell. Gets it up towards the corner line. Still no defence by Northcote. Otahuhu rampaging now. Last tackle. Shelford. Out to Graham. Hit hard. Offloads a sneaky ball though. And the referee says we'll have the handover.
Kelly Shelford just showing how dangerous he can be when he decides to start running with the football. Offloaded 2 and then backed up 2 passes. Good play.
Logan Campbell, number 4. He's the leading try scorer in the Auckland League so far. The Logan Campbell centre, the 22, hasn't really seen much of the ball. And a very tight start to the grand final for 91. Playing for the Fox. This is the Fox hunt. As Otahuhu try to keep Northcote pinned down inside their own half. Jeff Morton from the dummy half. Short border, Galbraith. Jason Lowry offloading. It's a tough one, Otahuhu play. Referee says, play on. Desperation defence as Donnie Stewart just gets hold of Rusty Matua. Another chance for Otahuhu. Shelford to Riley. He's got room to move. Harvey Mason can't hold on to it. And the referee says
5 metres.
a penalty. Northcote up inside the 5. Well, a real chance here as Otahuhu moved the ball out wide. Referee playing advantage with Riley, just getting the ball to Harvey Mason, who can't quite hold on to it. But the referee says you're up inside the 5. That's a penalty. So now the defending premiers.
Good decision there by referee Billy Shrimpton. Let the advantage go. No advantage to Otahuhu with that knock on by Harvey Mason, so he brought it back for the penalty for inside the 5 metres.
And the premiers have their chance now to equalise. 16 minutes gone. Northcote lead by 4-2. And Tony Tuamavavi, you can see on his face, it is a tough start to the Fox final for 91. And he knows he's got to keep the mistakes out of the ball game for the Northcote Tigers because they lost last year in the semis to Otahuhu. They don't want to do it again today after beating them 4 times this year. Dean Clark, though. This would tie up the ball game. Clarkey comes in straight down the middle. No problem for DC.
At this stage of the game, Tony Tuamavavi would be very worried about their ball security. That all come from trying to force the ball off inside your 22-metre area. They've got to just control the football. They did it well for the first 2 tackles, just getting yardage up the middle of the park, and then all of a sudden they decided to go wide, drop ball. Otahuhu turned it around.
18 minutes gone in the grand final. It's all tied up with the battle of the Big Cats, the Tigers and the Leopards at 4-all. McIntosh with the restart. Michael Graham. Long ball out to Des Meyer. Charging into the defence. Hit by his opposite number, Tony Tuamavavi. And they'll be teammates for the Sheffield Eagles in the off-season in the UK, the 2 number 13s. Now it's back to Wayne Davis. A late replacement coming in for Otahuhu after Taliti Leavar was forced out with a knee injury during the week. Dean Noble beats the early tackles. Can he offload? Back to Davis. Palele. The roll on for the Leopards now. Shelford. Still manages to offload the pass.
Northcote have to be very wary at the moment. Otahuhu is starting to hit them in behind the play of the ball area and making yards up the field.
Shelford going for the field position, putting the kick down along the ground, trying to force the mistake because the ball is slippery. McIntosh, though, a good run, getting the yardage up to about 40 metres out from their own goal line. Donnie Stewart, only try score in the game so far. Greer to Palmada.
That's better play by Northcote. That's what they've got to do. Just keep taking the ball up the middle of the park. Going forward.
Still trying to look for some support. sees the gap, goes for it, gives it back to Galbraith. Now Northcote starting to string the passes together. Palmada, can he find the long ball? Out to Jason Lowry out there in the centres. Pushes off Kelly Shelfer from the play of the ball. Jeff Morton puts the Tigers with the last tackle up, fifth tackle. They're going to go for the bomb. Tony Tuamavavi, there it goes. Michael Graham takes it, but it goes dead.
Bit too heavy weighted by Tony there, but good play. 6 tackles, put the ball up in the air, bit of pressure on Otahuhu.
Quick restart from the 22. Kelly Shelford up towards 30 metres out. Still offloads to Michael Graham. Can he find Beasley? He finds Beasley, but also the tackle of Jason Lowry. Long ball. Leopard's just standing around as Jimmy Paul. No, it's Aaron Palelli. Says, well, I'll do the hard stuff. Riley to Noble. Back to Riley. That was a knock on.
That again is forcing a ball in a silly situation. Dean Noble had gone into the tackle. He should have just gone to ground, quick play the ball and kept the roll on them.
Mark Riley, 13 tries so far for the Leopards this season. Was the player of the day last week when they won the preliminary final against Mount Albert. Now it's Galbraith. He's got the Green Acres. Gets the ball back. Well picked up by Tony Tuamavavi. Northcote looking for a quick play of the ball. Riley. Now it's Palmada. Back inside to Marchi. Marchi tries to find Jeff Morton. The ball's still alive. McIntosh goes for it. Referee says play on. Harvey Mason picks it up. Here's a chance for Kelly Shelford. Up over the halfway. Desperation defence by Sean Hoppy and Stu Galbraith for Northcote. That is the sort of grand final football that people have come to see today at Kowloon Park, as they still manage to offload. Puliata.
Good play by Kelly Shelford. Made the bust, just took the tackle.
Now it's Aaron Palele. If he gets away, he's almost like a runaway bust to try and tackle, isn't he?
Aaron's a very big man, and I'm sure the Northcote guys are shaking a bit when they see him coming down the park at them.
It's a pretty fast pace to the game. At times it's been slow, but right now it's just starting to pick up, although some of the players just starting to walk around the paddock a bit. Harvey to Graham. Beasley wrapped up by Marchi. Still unloads. Davis. Last tackle. Will lay shape for the kick. Kelly Shelford waits, puts up the bomb. Galbraith waiting for it. Does the Aussie rule style of take. Knocked back by an Otahuhu player. Suggestion that one of the Northcote players may have been in offside position. And now it's Logan Campbell. Comes away with the ball right on the quarter line. 4-all in the grand final. And this battle of the big cats really is tight at the moment.
It sure is, Clinton. You mentioned before some of the bigger guys slowing down. Maybe the ground conditions are taking it out of their legs a little bit.
One injury at the moment to Stu Galbraith, who's down in the play as McIntosh is going to look for touch.
Bit too heavy.
So the scrum goes down. And David McIntosh, he won't be happy with that kick. Once again, Northcote just making the odd little error.
Very interesting. The last scrum we had, Kelly Shelford went into loose forward and Des Meyer played at 5'8".
Des Meyer's played in the backs a few times during the playoffs. Good switch around by Otahuhu with Michael Graham doing the short side. Shelford to Jimmy Paul. Hit by Jason Lowry. And 3 Tigers in that defence.
Some of those hits out there, Clint, are real hard ones, and it's going to take a toll in the end.
Pilale, the best and fairest winner of the award this year is judged by the referees, the big number 10 for Otahuhu. The 4th year in a row they've won that award. Long ball, good hands by Graham. Short pass to Rusty Matua. Here's a chance for Otahuhu. Just 2 metres out now. Can the Leopards score from here? Graham to Clark. Harvey Mason on the run. Dean Clark says, I'll jerk myself and I'll stick it down right under the black dot. Well, the Northcote Tigers hung off him like a clothesline. They were sucked in by the decoy run by Harvey Mason. And the lead for the Leopards, 8-4. There's the decoy run by Mason. Lovely dummy by DC, and Dean Clark goes round in the perfect field position for a goal kicker as well. He knows he's on target for a 6-pointer.
You'll see here, Clint, that Northcote fell for one of the oldest tricks in the book, and the only place you get them is at Chemist, and that's a dummy. Dean Clark just stood there, showed the ball to the runner coming. They never moved across to cover the inside, and Dean just waltzed through the hole. Here he is, selling that nice dummy. Through the gap. Slide defence not there on time, and under the bar.
Yeah, that was a great work there by Dean Clark. You can see the Otahuhu defence come out wide. He came up very fast. Clark, he just took the inside option. I think at the moment, though, Otahuhu would do very well to get right up behind Kelly Shelford, because he's running white hot at the moment. And if Kelly's fitness can hold out for the entire game with that bad leg, I think he's going to be very instrumental in Otahu's effort today.
Dean Clark scores the try, adds the extra points. You can see the wall paint on an Otahuhu fan there. And the Leopards in full cry now. They're starting to roar with 15 minutes to play in the first half. Otahuhu now hit the front by 10-4.
At the moment, it seems it's becoming a Dean Clark benefit game. Dean scoring all the points for Otahuhu at the moment.
Well, we talked about Dean Clark as being one of the strong men on defence and also one of the key playmakers. He's had a great start. He'll be joining the Scarborough Pirates in the UK next year in the off-season. But at the moment, he knows he and Otahuhu got a chance for possibly a big upset, remembering, of course, that they've lost 4 times to Northcote this year, but now they've got the roll on and that 6-point cushion as they head towards the break. Mason, switch around with Dean Noble. Referee says no, that was a forward pass. And here is an injury to one of the Northcote players.
Jimmy Paul for Otahuhu. Knee in the back of the head there.
Sorry, it is one of the Otahuhu players, Jimmy Paul. Copped the knee there from Donnie Stewart as they both went for the ball. So Joe Gwynn, no doubt, will be a bit worried about that situation, because Jimmy Paul's one of their strong men in the pack.
I think Joe's probably more worried about their silly penalties that they're giving away, and you know, especially kickable positions. And David McIntosh is a very good kicker.
So a penalty now for David McIntosh. He's played a bit in North Queensland, but this situation here, Jimmy Paul, we hope it's not too serious, as McIntosh is just lining up the kick. And this is crucial too. McIntosh comes in, puts it straight down the middle. And that closes up to a 4-point lead now for the Otahuhu Leopards. And they now lead by 10-6.
If Otahuhu are going to serve up kickable penalties like that to this bloke, he's going to slot them all day.
Has already scored 189 points this year. His first year with the Northcote Tigers Premiers after switching from Glenora. He's had a great season. A sad sight there for Jimmy Paul. We'll have to see who the replacement is. Dean Lonergan, Cowboy, can you see anyone warming up for the Leopards?
Yeah, number 16, Gavin Walsh, has come on, and Jimmy Paul's coming off the field by stretcher.
So the restart now. There is Gavin Walsh, number 16, the new man on the field. Long kick to Imavavi. He's got to rally his troops now up towards the quarter. 10 minutes to play before half-time. A 4-point ball game.
This is the very crucial time now, 10 minutes before half-time. Otahuhu will be looking to keep Northcote here. Northcote will want a good kick and chase game.
Greer, Galbraith to Imavavi, loses it behind. Referee says play on. Des Meyer says, well, if you don't want the ball, I'll take it up. And we'll give the defending Premiers great field position. Back on the attack. Dean Noble trying to find a support. And those tackles now by the Tigers not quite as hard as they were at the start.
Yeah, they seem to be dropping off a lot of them at the moment, letting Otahuhu go forward like that. And if you do that with Otahuhu, they'll just get a roll on.
A big battle there between the two number 10s. Palele taking it up, hit hard by Jason Lowry. Riley still offloads to Kelly Shelford. The poacher almost sneaking through. The ball was knocked down and he regathered it. It's kept alive. Mason, Beasley. Lovely pass to Palele. Donnie Stewart knocks it on. And that was the try-saving move for Don Stewart.
He made the decision to come in. Good decision by him.
And another set of 6.
Another set of 6 for Otahuhu. They'll just keep working the ball, taking them right to the sideline.
And this is where the experience of grand final football could pay off. Only 6 players in their first grand final, including number 16, Gavin Welsh.
Looking here
5
for...
metres out. Harvey Mason, has it been held up? Referee says, held up. Stu Galbraith, what a tackle. What a tackle.
Good position by Billy Shrimpton there, was right on the spot. But at the moment, we haven't seen Mark Riley running much.
There is that ball. Harvey Mason knew he was over the goal line, but he couldn't get it down. The Stu Galbraith wrapped them up like a bear hug.
Harvey Mason out of dummy half. Northcote struggling to get back. Look at that little guy wrap that big bloke up, just turned him over, made sure he didn't get the ball down.
And that could be a key tackle with 10 minutes to go before the half-time break. So now the Tigers really struggling so far, just to find their game pattern. And the Leopards' defence really rising to the occasion.
Otahuhu really putting it on them now, but Northcote have been out of football for 4 weeks, so that could be a telling factor.
Only played the major semi-final, did an easy job over Otahuhu that day, and now the mistakes once again. Referee says play on. Daryl Beasley to Mark Riley. He's got it out to Kevin Pugliata. Back inside to Beasley. Beasley is in. Sensational try here for the Otahuhu Leopards. Opportunity only knocks once, and they took that chance. There's a few more mistakes once again with the handling. Beasley, a short pass to Riley. He's so quick. A great offload to Pugliata. Slips inside the defence, but then sees Daryl Beasley there, and he says, OK, Bees, on your knees, there's a 4-pointer.
This try all comes from pressure. Kevin Pugliata stepping off his foot. Inside to Daryl Beasley. That little bloke will be pleased with that.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to, Owen, is Northcote have got to stop making these errors inside their own half, and especially inside their own 22. Again, it was great pressure from Otahuhu, but if Northcote continue to make these mistakes in their 22, Otahu's going to run up a quicker score.
Yeah, Dean, you're right, because Otahuhu are moving up and putting pressure on Northcote, especially when they're trying to get a ball wide. But we were just talking about Mark Riley, and all of a sudden he pops up.
Yeah, mate, he comes to out of hibernation when he has to.
Dean Clark, can he add the extra points? No, he can't. But Otahuhu still in the driving seat as they head up towards half-time. And it's Otahuhu now lead by 14 points to 6. Well, it's great to see some sunshine here. Daryl Beasley in his first grand final. He'll be wrapped to score a try.
He'd be very pleased with that, Clinton. He's a bloke that's come through the grades with Otahuhu, although his brothers have played for Mangere East.
Desmeyer charging up towards the quarter line. Mason to Beasley once again. The other key thing about Beasley's played in all of the 18 games of the regular season, and he stuck it through in the playoffs and gets a try in the grand final. He'll be partying tonight. Dean Noble. Now they're moving it out wide. Davis, nicknamed the young puppy, tries to offload. And their ability to offload so far has really kept their play alive, hasn't it?
The ability to offload, but the key to it all is guys in position to back up.
Dean Clark to Kelly Shelford to Mark Riley, their key playmakers. Cal Lima with the tackle. Stu Gelf, no, Richard Greer going in once again. It's Kelly Shelford. Sees there's some space back behind Sean Hoppe, and he does well to keep the ball in play, but now he's got to take it up as the chasers come up. Looks for the pass to McIntosh. McIntosh beats the early defence. He's got a chance here. Oh, and he threw a line ball to Logan Campbell. He knows that was a crucial chance there. The ball went forward to Auckland's leading try scorer, and Logan Campbell only had the frustration of seeing it slip past his fingers and the forward pass. McIntosh beating the first line of defence, looking around for support. Logan Campbell right in position, draws the defence, throws the forward pass though.
If David McIntosh had got that ball away with a good pass, it was shut the gate, because that Logan Campbell can go.
But once again, it's Otahuhu. Watch out for Kelly Shop. It looks like he may have suffered something in that tackle. Gavin Welsh, 40 metres out. Field position and possession dominated by the Leopards, the defending premiers. Another chance as they move it out wide. Clark wrapped up by Tony Tuamavavi. McIntosh and also Greer. Riley to Davis. Trying to offload. Can't beat the tackle of Morton. Harvey Mason to Dasmeyer. He's a good, hard-working forward for Otahuhu. Always looking for the gaps. Mason, quick wrap from dummy half. Palele to Riley. To Shelford. Clark. Beasley on the wraparound. Back to Shelford. Little wee chip. Logan Campbell says, I'll take that. Looking for a chance here, but wrapped up.
Otahuhu just moving the ball around, testing Northcote out.
No one from the mark at that time, so Campbell sneaks a few easy yards. Hopping from the dummy half. Trying to beat the defence. Desperation time now for the Northcote Tigers to get back into this first half after they scored the first try of the match of Donnie Stewart. Galbraith looking for something. A trust field. A good tackle by Harvey Mason. Gets a pat on his back from his teammate. Marchi. Harvey Mason with the swinging arm over the top. Lucky to get away with it.
They have to be very careful. 5 minutes before half-time, they don't want to give anything away.
McIntosh looking for a line ball to Kauluma. The referee says that's a turnover.
Good defence, Otahuhu. Just held the pressure. Now they'll look just to control the ball till half-time.
So it's Mark Riley with the headgear. Dean Noble, 30 metres out from the Otahuhu goal line. Riley from dummy half, going the short side to Dean Clark. He's had a huge first half. Rusty Matua shows the ball. Keeps it alive. Wild pass. Mason tidies up. Loose ball. And who's diving on it for Northcote?
Jason Lowry.
Jason Lowry, the hard-working prop. Last chance in the first half here for the Tigers. Can they string something together? Galbraith to Tuamavavi, the playmaker. Great ball to McIntosh. Back to Marchi. Inside 5 metres out. They need a quick play of the ball. Tuamavavi. Great pass out to Logan Campbell. There's the try. Sensational comeback by the Tigers. Tuamavavi to the Logan Campbell centre. And he dots it down in the corner.
It always happens in a game of football. When you're looking for something special, your leader will come up with it, and that's what happens here. Tony Tuamavavi.
Jason Lowry got that loose ball a while ago. Great work here by Tuamavavi. Drew the defence. Lovely pass. And Logan Campbell, he scored 22 tries for the Auckland leading try scorer this season, so he'll be glad to make it number 23.
Tony there just sliding across the Otahuhu defence. Logan Campbell getting out on the side of Mark Riley, putting it down right in the corner.
Fringes. Just saying, that's what the Tigers are extremely strong, is out on the fringes. Once you've got Otahuhu going backwards, Northcote's hit on the fringes, and that's where they score both their tries.
That's right, Dean. You know, Tony Tuamavavi did real well there because he was involved twice in the play, and then he just slid across the Otahuhu defence, drew them to him. The outside guys come in to knock him over, but no one covering the back door.
That's right. David McIntosh, sorry there, Dean, just can't add the 2 points. So as Logan Campbell walks back.
Just trying to jump in there, Clint. Just trying to jump in there, mate. Where are you getting this Logan Campbell centre? You've got to be kidding.
That's the place where they play rock concerts. And man, that guy was just rocking then, Dino.
I know where that is, Clinton.
Perhaps you can do an encore there one day, mate.
Lonergan shake, maybe.
There is the scoreline, just about on half-time. Otahuhu Leopards leading the Northcote Tigers by 14 to 10. So it's Jason Lowry hitting it up towards halfway. Tigers back in the ball game now. McIntosh in the muddy part of Kaulua Park to Tuamavavi. Still trying to keep the ball alive, ever elusive. And the hurter goes for the end of the first 40 minutes. The Lion Red Auckland League Grand Final for 91. It really has been a battle. And as they go to the break, Tony Tuamavavi will be thinking about the second half. But Otahuhu lead Northcote by 14 to 10.
7:30 Monday, kick off an outrageous hour of humour with Britain's off-the-wall Beatles about.
Spread your legs out.
Into the
The 5 minutes either side of half-time is one of the most important parts of any game, and there's Logan Campbell going in for that very, very important try for Northcote. Just a couple of minutes before half-time, so at half-time the score here, Otahuhu 14 and Northcote 10. Well, Dean Lonergan, that's an important blow for Northcote right on half-time, isn't it?
Yeah, they've certainly come back well. I think most of the game's been played in Northcote's half so far, so they want to start looking at playing more percentage football and perhaps kicking down into Otahu's 22 a bit more, because as soon as they get down there, they seem to have scored both times. So if they stop throwing the ball around inside their 22 and Northcote start kicking a bit more, I think they're more of a chance of taking this game out. But having said that, Otahuhu has played extremely well so far and playing very good football.
Well, the other thing we've seen too is that the 2 times the ball has gone wide, Northcote have scored tries.
Exactly, you know, like the Otahuhu forwards are very, very big and strong, and it's a hard place to go through the centre of them. So Northcote seem a little bit stronger in the backs, and perhaps that should be where they should be attacking.
Kelly Shelford is playing one big grand final here at the moment. Everyone should really be running off him, shouldn't they?
First 30 minutes, Kelly was running white hot. You know, I think he's starting to tire a little bit towards the end of that first half, but he'll come out really strong in the second half, and that's where Otahuhu should be looking to make their breaks off, is Kelly.
How is this ground, which is now getting quite heavy, how is this going to affect the second half with some of those big forwards?
Yeah, it seems pretty sticky out there, and I think the bigger forwards are going to find it a lot harder going, and whoever used their reserves the best, I think is going to come out on top.
So what should Otahuhu be looking forward to in this second half?
Just much the same as they've done in the first half. They've managed to win that all right, and if they can do the same in the second half, they're going to win the game.
More people should be backing up Kelly Shelford, do you think?
Oh, certainly. Kelly Shelford, Dean Clark and Mark Riley, if the forwards are doing their work, like they seem to be, Des Meyer, Aaron Palali seem to be going all right. But those three halves are going to be the ones that sort this game out.
Expert sideline comments there from Kiwi second rower Dean Lonergan. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Tonight, the World
League in the second half of the grand final for 91 on the Lion Red Auckland League Premiership. The hunt for the Fox has begun. We're down to 40 minutes with Otahuhu in front by 14 to 10. 2 tries apiece. The difference, the kicking of Dean Clark. And here is Gavin Welsh taking it up with Darryl Beasley. Dean Noble charging into the Northcote Tigers defence. Northcote playing into the wind and possibly a few showers in the second half. And there's a penalty as Tony Tuamavavi couldn't get away from the play the ball.
Tony just sitting in the play the ball area, and they were doing well by containing Otahuhu there, but now they're going to let them have cheap yards.
So it's Kelly Shelford who's going to come up and look for field position as Tony Tuamavavi on his hands and knees there, making no attempt to get away from the play the ball. So referee Billy Shripton giving the early penalty to the Leopards. Dean Noble heading up towards the 40-metre mark. The referee says you can't put the knee in like that.
That's a very hard call there because Dean naturally runs that way with a high knee action, so you know, hard call on Dean.
So once again, both teams making early mistakes. One of the Northcote players flat out on his back as Dean Noble goes straight into Lloyd Marchie. There goes the knee, bursting through that tackle. I think Marchie copped a bit, and also a bit of the boot too.
Copped the studs.
Okay. It's 40 metres out. Northcote Tigers on the attack. Palmada hitting it up towards the Leopard territory. And here's another penalty going against the Otahuhu Leopards, against Dean Noble or Harvey Mason.
Silly plays there, you know, holding guys down in the tackle. And as we said before, this game's all about errors, and Otahuhu are starting to make too many.
So the second half is underway with Northcote down by 14-10. The Leopards in front, 2 tries apiece. The difference there, the kicking of Clark, as Northcote get the early chance of the second half. Charging on to attack. Galbraith cutting off low. A long ball out to Campbell. He scored that try in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Now a chance in the first 5 minutes of the second. Couple of silly mistakes by Otahuhu. Costly penalties to Tui Mavavi.
Very crucial time here for Otahuhu that they make sure of the tackles, put guys on the ground.
Palmada trying to get away for a quick play of the ball. McIntosh to Galbraith. Looks for the gap. Can't get through. Good defence by Otahuhu. There's a chance out wide to Lowry. Ball to Campbell. Wrapped up. Loses it. Goes it back to Greer. He tries to offload to Jason Lowry. Still keeping the ball alive, Northcote. To Jeff Morton. Shot ball and Galbraith. And Stu Galbraith puts it down by the post. Sensational start for the Northcote Tigers. Otahuhu paying the price for giving away early penalties. It is 14-all. This grand final is going to go down to the wire.
They're paying the price, Clint, for not putting guys on the ground with the football, just letting them offload.
Galbraith gets the pass. A lovely ball from Morton. He was going for the black dot, but he says the lion red post will do just as fine.
Stewie Galbraith here showing commitment to get to the line. Look at him. Little bloke getting held up, stretches out, puts it down.
Harvey Mason trying with the tackle there as David McIntosh adds the extra 2 points. And there's a great start for the Northcote Tigers. So the ball game now is very exciting with the Northcote Tigers in front by 16-14. Sideline eye, Dean Lonergan with the call from the coaches.
Got the coach here right beside me of Otahuhu, Joe Gwynn. Joe, how do you see that try and what we saying to the guys at half-time?
Oh, just to build the defence a bit more and get field position for us in the second half and just use our forwards as just to take it up.
Not a great start to the second half, Joe. What do you think we can do to cancel that out? Just pick up that defence a bit?
Yeah, I think just the penalties we've given away, 2 penalties we've given away, I thought one was a bit unfair, but that's the referee's decision. But I think we got a penalty given away now, so I think it's team will make too many mistakes in the second half.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Joe Gwynn.
Talking about mistakes as Dean Lonergan gets the half-time call from the Otahuhu coach, Joey Gwynn. A penalty's gone against Otahuhu once again for a stealing of the ball and the tackle. And now McIntosh is going to drill it towards the sideline. Here's the incident. Morton has the ball. Harvey Mason in the tackle tries to rip the ball out. And referee Billy Shrimpton has no hesitation to give the penalty to the Tigers. They're on a roll now. 2 points in front. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Galbraith, the try scorer. To Greer. Lovely ball. Tony Tuamavavi taken out of the play without the ball. And there's another penalty, this time against Kevin Pugliata.
Kevin Pugliata wasn't even in that play. It was Harvey Mason. And if that guy's going to keep making errors like that, Joe Moss will pull him off because it's just making it too hard on his teammates.
Well, this is going to be crucial now for the defending premiers. You heard the word from Joey Gwynn. He doesn't want silly penalties. And there is Harvey Mason, as Owen Wright picked out. It wasn't actually Kevin Pugliata, although the referee said it was him. And they've given away the penalty. Now play about to restart just inside.
Northcote had the football and then they coughed it up with a knock on. Otahuhu's feet to the scrum.
So you can really hear the crowd close to Carlaw Park. The atmosphere here at the headquarters of New Zealand Rugby League as Puliata this time runs it away, taken by Cal Lima.
Kevin Puliata, very exciting, strong runner. He could end up being a danger man for Otahuhu.
Desmeyer, 30 metres out from the Leopards goal line. Harvey Mason, he's got to settle down and control his play, as you've heard from Dean Lonergan, Joe Gwynn, and also Owen Wright, the former Taranaki player, a dummy half to Riley. Shelford, Clark, beats the first tackle by Marchi. Still going, Clark. Can he offload? He gets a slippery ball. And a great take, too, by Wayne Davis. Rusty Matua getting involved. Now it's Desmeyer. Still offloading. They did that with great control on the first spell. Long ball. Welsh just eluding the tackles. He's got Daryl Beasley. Beasley getting it back inside to Kelly Shelford. Shelford taken 5 metres out. The Leopards on hot attack here. Quick play the ball to Dean Clark. Long pass to Riley. Out to Meyer. The defence stands, gets him, offloads. Palele now. Trying to lose the ball. He does lose the ball. Trying to offload. And that is a pressure cooker situation. Northcote Tigers, desperation defence now.
Otahuhu under pressure there, trying to keep the ball alive. But Northcote, good defence, they just keep scrambling, and that's something that Otahuhu have to be very careful of. If you keep giving the ball to Northcote, they've shown over the year that they can produce tries. Their defence is also good.
Both of these teams have great ability on attack. Northcote, though, giving away slightly less points throughout the regular season on defence, slightly better defence, but it's being tested in this first spell, and now again in the second spell. But of course they've just hit back with that early second half try. You score in the first half, that was crucial, and they scored late in the first half, I should say, and early in the second half as Michael Graham copped a bit of a stiff one there.
I don't think it'll be the last one Michael gets in the game either.
Dean Noble offloads to Harvey Mason. Good ball out to Riley. Desmeyer got a bit of room to move. Lovely ball. Rusty Matua can't hold on to it. He picks it up again, but the referee says we'll play the knock on.
Otahuhu very lucky there. Rusty Matua come from an offside position to pick that ball up. Just lucky Billy Shrimpton missed it.
Rusty Matua had an operation halfway through the year, but he's been in great form for the Oaks after the loss of Richie Blackmore, the Kiwi. He was out with a dislocated shoulder he suffered against Northcote, and they won the Rukatai Shield about 4 or 5 weeks ago in the last game of regular season. Galbraith to Palmada. Still keeps going all day. Now it's Greer from dummy half. Darting away, wrapped up by the defence. Palele and Meyer. Tuamavavi looking for the kick. Going for the touch and finds it.
Good thinking by Tony. Northcote needed a breather, so he just put the ball down the sideline, making Otahuhu go backward. A guy that's impressing me for Northcote at the moment, Clint, is Jeff Morton. A guy that started off as a fullback for Glenora. He's playing a top game as a part-time prop at the moment.
The replacement for Michael Davies, who's watching the game in the grandstand at the moment. Otahuhu with Kelly Shelford. A chance, lovely slip ball to Clark. And he loses the ball. An unfortunate mistake because he was trying to elude the tackle of Stu Galbraith. And you get the feeling that things just aren't going the way of the Leopards in the second spell.
Not at the moment. Otahuhu doing everything right, but they just can't control that last pass. And see Dean Clark there looking at Billy Shrimpton trying to pull the penalty, as saying it was pulled out of his hands.
Kenny McIntosh just receiving a bit of treatment from his father, Richard McIntosh, the physio. Galbraith.
Fatherly attention.
Advice as well. Palmada still offloads. There is Cal Lima, a little weak. Centre, great chance here for Northcote. Lowry, going for field position, right by the posts. Greer at dummy half. They switch it right. Long ball from Galbraith to Tuamavavi. Trying to offload. Just getting through one tackle, but taken by Daryl Beasley. Galbraith out to McIntosh. Oh, Richard Greer almost had a great run.
Could be field goal time.
Last tackle. Here's the field goal from Tuimavavi. You heard the call from Owen Wright, the Tigers fan, love it. And the Northcote Tigers have hit the front again. Now out to a early lead by 17 points to 14. Not quite 18. Get the 1 point for that field goal. You called it right, Owen.
David McIntosh was setting himself for it. Tony Tuimavavi on the other side, so they had options either side of the play the ball.
So good pressure and good work by the Northcote Tigers by putting points on the board. Hoppy takes it up towards the 22. The referee, Billy Shrimpton, has given another penalty. And once again, it's against Harvey Mason, is it? So let's go down to sideline with Dean Lonergan while McIntosh is looking for touch and the pressure off the Northcote Tigers.
Half-time comment from Graham Norton, the Northcote coach, was saying he's looking to kick on the third tackle, but the way Otahuhu's playing at the moment, giving away all those silly penalties, they're not going to get to the third tackle. They're going to make it through penalties. So look for a bigger kicking game from Northcote in this half.
Greer to Galbraith. Sean Hoppy, nicknamed Trigger. What can he trigger off this time? Greer out to Galbraith. Lowry looking to stand it offload and bursting through those tackles of the defence. Now it's Galbraith once again. He's had a busy second half. Literally slip ball. Galbraith gets it out to Kalema, but they can't hold on to it. Sean Hoppy.
Good play by Stuart Galbraith, wrapping around Tony Tuimavavi to try and get Sean Hoppy away. At the moment, I think Otahuhu is just standing waiting for Kelly Shelford to do something for them. They can't afford to stand and wait. They've got to get in and create things themselves.
Riley from the scrum. What can he spark for the Otahuhu Leopards? Going across field. Kelly Shelford takes it up, 30 metres out from their line. Beasley goes to short side. No support. Easily wrapped up by the defence. Although Galbraith looks like he's holding him down. Referee staying back to 5. And this time he penalises Daryl Beasley. And Stewie Galbraith is laughing.
That's pressure time. Stewie Galbraith just knew how far to go to milk the penalty, and he pulled it nicely.
Well, here is the incident again. You can see Galbraith tackles Daryl Beasley. He's got him round the neck. Beasley's trying to get up and play the ball. Gets frustrated. Cops at elbow or a shoulder in the face. Looks up at the referee. Can't believe it because he's been penalised.
The unfortunate thing about that is we've got a guy standing on the sideline. He never got into it.
Greer on attack. 1 metre out. Northcote Tigers running hot. McIntosh tries to go from dummy half. Desperation defence by Gavin Welsh. Greer also trying for a quick charge at the line. Right on the line. And a penalty once again. And it's Daryl Beasley holding down the player.
Too quick from the play of the ball area, not letting the ball clear the ruck area. That could have been a professional foul and a sin bin offence.
Well, he's getting a chat too from the referee, Billy Shrimpton. So things just haven't gone the way of Daryl Beasley since he scored that try.
That was unfortunate. That was probably line ball there.
So it's Tony Tuimavavi. He's got to take the quick tap. And the referee says we'll play a scrum.
Bit of gamesmanship going on now. Opposing players patting one another on the back, having a little chat to each other. Tony didn't release the football there.
Sorry, that was Loy Marchie. Looks very similar to Tony Tuimavavi, the second row. So it's a desperation defensive situation for Otahuhu. They've got to really work hard now to get the ball out of their danger zone. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Northcote, one-way traffic in the second spell. They lead the grand final 17-14.
Otahuhu going to find it very hard to score a try from here, but the only player that'll be able to do it is Mark Riley.
Daryl Beasley's got space. Can he find inside? He pushes off the tackle, but Galbraith gets him. And a great tackle. That was almost a try-saver. Rusty Matua to Pelele. Otahuhu have scored some great long-range tries this year and against Northcote. So the Tigers know they've got to keep composure. Riley almost knocks the ball on. Up goes the bomb, taken by Hoppe and loses it. There's Mike, and he pick it up. Wayne Davis comes away with the ball, and he was in an offside situation.
Hard call on Otahuhu there. They did everything right. Put the ball up in the air, made Northcote cough up with an error, but the ball goes forward to a player in offside position.
Now, David McIntosh, from the restart, he's sliced the ball well off his boot, and it's gone directly across field. Coming up to around about 20 minutes gone. Half-time and the second spell. The halfway situation is Morton. Tireless worker, getting it up towards the 30-metre mark, and there is Michael Davies. He's been in trouble with a back injury. Morton came in and took over his spot in the starting 13 today. But Davies might be warming up for a replacement. Doing his job in the second half. Big hit there on Marchi. Now it's Galbraith once again. On the last tackle, Des Meyer took the Northcote player down without the ball around the head. And the crowd don't like it. I think it's Jason Lowry, is it?
Be interesting to see on the replay, Clint.
We'll just try and pick up. It's Richard Greer. The hooker right around the head. He's lucky to be on the field, Des Meyer.
He's very lucky. I would say this is sin bin material.
Galbraith looking for the short pass. Out to Greer. Couldn't hold the ball. Des Meyer just puts the coat hanger on him. And he's been given his marching orders. There is Greer.
The following lucky program. First one is number 20.
So Des Meyer will just double check with Dean Lonergan. Cowboy, has he been sent off or has he been sent to the sin bin?
I think he's been sent off there, Clint. Des Meyer's put a couple of high hits both at the start of this game and in the middle, and this one just topped it off, so I think he's off for good.
We didn't actually see the signal from the referee if it was a 10-minute sin bin. So it looks like Otahuhu could be down to 12 men.
That tackle there is an ordering off offence. That was blatant and it was high.
Certainly is, Owen, and Desi Meyer, usually a clean player. It's not the sort of football you want on grand final day.
You know, Des Meyer's a good player, so he doesn't need to put that sort of plays on.
Not only was it high, it was late.
So Richard Greer looking very groggy.
Was probably later than some of those buses that run around town, Dean.
And mate, I can tell you that's a pretty hard thing to do.
Now Cowboy looks like Michael Davies is warming up. Any changes for the Northcote team from Graham Norton?
I would say if Davies is warming up, Richard Greer would be the man to pull off at the moment because he's so dazed and groggy. Could take him 5 to 10 minutes to get back into this game. But for the time being, he's just down there stretching, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, I seem to remember you were in Disneyland in Melbourne, weren't you, mate? You know what this feeling's like.
It's not a nice feeling, I can tell you.
So this could be a crucial part of the ball game as Richard Greer, he's a tough man, is on the reserve bench during the 89 final when Northcote beat the Mangere East Hawks. He's had a tough game, the dummy half, the hookup. And he's still on the field. He's going to finish out for how long he can last anyway. I'm not sure what he'll remember.
I think the adrenaline will just get him through the game.
So it's the Tigers on the attack. Hoppe taking it up towards the corner. Otahuhu. Down to 12 men. Galbraith to Lowry. Switch back inside to Tui Mavavi. Galbraith from dummy half. Looks for the quick dart. Still going. He's been very dangerous in that position so far today. He's already scored 1 try. Palmada, a ball out to Hoppe, wrapped up by Kevin Puliata. Last tackle for the Tigers. Greer, Tui Mavavi. Can he unload? Does so. Going nowhere, McIntosh. Puts up the bomb. Goes straight up. Knocked back on the side of the Tigers. Intercept almost by Darryl Beasley.
That was a pressure play by Beasley. If it had come off, he was a hero. Unfortunately, he couldn't take the ball. Scrum, Northcote feed.
So Darryl Beasley going for that chance. Already in the playoffs, Kelly Shelford's nickname, the Phantom. Oh, that's his nickname from his playmates, but he's been nicknamed the Poacher because he's picked up about 3 intercepts, and if Beasley could have had that one, then Otahuhu may have been laughing. Penalty, fighting in the front row, and Billy Shrimpton's got to calm this ball game down. And we think he's looking at Richard Greer for headbutting, and there he goes. Richard Greer has been sent off. The old Liverpool kiss.
The unfortunate thing is I hope Des Miles in a different shower to what this bloke's going to do.
Well, sensational. And Harvey is also going to the sideline as well. But I think Harvey's receiving treatment, the Otahuhu player. And there was the headbutt. So both teams down to 12.
Harvey Mason off to the blood bin.
Okay, for Otahuhu, here's the new man, Steve Purcell. Hitting it up, 30 metres out.
This game here has now got tension in it.
Welsh. Hit by 2. Mavavi down low. Lowry round the top to Clark. Riley, long ball out to Beasley. What can he do with it? Little wrap around by Riley. Graham. Almost intercepted by Sean Hoppy. Here's the incident, which means that there's the headbutt. Greer going in on Harvey Mason. Dean Noble says, hey, what about that, ref? Billy Shrimpton saw the call. And Richard Greer, who was hit by Des Meyer, looks up. Harvey. A whack from Harvey too.
Harvey wanted to square up straight away.
Beasley. There's Otahuhu, play it out wide. Riley from dummy half to Rusty Matua. Cal Lima doing the hard work on defence. This ball game is very tight, 17-14. Both teams down to 12. And there's round about 15 minutes to go in the grand final. The hunt for the Fox for 91. Davis says, let me play the ball, will you? Purcell. Otahuhu, though, it's been all played on their half of the field so far. Kelly Shelford, a quiet start to the second spell.
Otahuhu have to get down into Northcote's 22 area and put some pressure on them there.
Clark, he's got a shape for the kick. Going for touch. Over the head of Donnie Stewart's going towards the touchline, but McIntosh is there to keep it in play. Runs it up. Good chasing by the Otahuhu Leopards. So, 15 minutes to go. Northcote lead by 17-14. Which one of the big cats is going to go on the prowl now? Okay. Here's McIntosh. Has he got that ball? That was almost a high tackle too from Otahuhu. Kevin Puliata taking up towards halfway, trying to get around the chasers. Taken by McIntosh. Possession overall favouring Northcote. And Otahuhu forced to bring a lot of possession in their own half.
And Otahuhu are playing a lot of it now in their own half, which is hard on them because they aren't going to get a runaway try. Only Mark Riley can put that on, and they've got to get down inside Northcote's 22 to do anything.
Here's a chance. Dean Noble looked like he was trying to do the flip pass back inside to Kelly Shelford. But offloading the ball, and Logan Campbell's come up with it. Stewart. McIntosh. Otahuhu defence just hanging off a bit. Now it's Palmada. He's got beats the defence. He's got Morton outside. Can't offload. Mark Riley with the tackle. Logan Campbell darting away from dummy half. Beats 2 of 3. Graham with the tackle. Morton. Tui Mavavi. To McIntosh. Tries to offload. taken by Lowry, long ball, intercepted, touched by Otahuhu, wave on, Sean Hoppy's got the chance out wide, cutting me back in. Caddy offline, he's still going for the line. What a try! What a try! Sean Hoppy has sent Carlaw Park into an uproar. The Tigers on the prowl. It may not be celebration time for the Tigers just yet, but that could be the game-breaking try. In his second grand final, McIntosh kept the ball alive. On the last tackle, Lowry, a light, long ball, just touched by Kelly Shelford, quickly snaffled by Galbraith. The huge pass out to Hoppy. Now watch this as Trigger, bursting through the tackles, keeps going on his hands and knees, leaps over the goal line. He likes that one.
Sean Hoppy here just showed character and determination, busting tackles, and it all come from Northcote keeping the ball alive, making Otahuhu scramble, Otahuhu not putting them on the ground.
That's why he got a Kiwi trial this year, Owen. I think Sean's determination comes through then. It was certainly a great try, certainly the best of the day.
McIntosh adds the extra points as we look once again at what could be the game-breaking try by Sean Hoppy. He scored 13 tries so far this season, and there is try number 14, and none more sweeter for the player who's come through the grades, the junior Kiwi. And in his second grand final, he knows that could be the crucial play of the day. So, it's the Northcote Tigers now in front by 23-14.
This is really going to test Otahuhu's character now. Have they got the character to come back?
Dean Lonergan, you've got something from Coach Graham Norton?
Yeah, Jeff Morton's been substituted for Michael Davies. From the forward back, Jeff's had a great game, so he's been given a spell.
So now it's a chance here for Davies to get the ball out to Tony Tuamavavi. A staggering second half so far for the Tigers, played with a lot of commitment. They were looking down the barrel of a possible upset as they keep the ball alive, ripped out of his hands, and the referee says we'll play the knock-off. But down 14-10 at half-time, it looked like Otahuhu might be online to make that scoreline with the head-to-head matchups between these two teams. 4-1. Been quite a turnaround.
As this game's gone on, Stewie Galbraith has grown and grown into the game. He's starting to run the show for Northcote now.
Mark Riley from the scrum. What can he do for the Leopards? Going on one of his big long runs. Very quick, but dragged to the sideline by Stu Galbraith. You chase. Matua to Davis. Driven back by a wall of Tigers. The Northcote fans putting up the chart for the black and gold. They can smell victory. And grand final number 3 for the boys from over the bridge. Mason now had his wound wrapped up in the blood bin. Pilele going nowhere. Kelly Shelford to Dean Clark. Great first half, trying to get free. Davis can't hold on to it. Referee says that was not forward, although it looked like it went back.
It went forward, but Otahuhu pushing passes and just making silly little errors all the time. Northcote are going to get through this game in the last 10, 12 minutes now on character and adrenaline. They can look at the scoreboard and say, hey, we're ahead, we'll just keep going.
There's the scrap.
As this game's worn on, and I think Northcote's defence has picked up and gotten better.
Yeah, they've always been a good defensive side, Dean, and, you know, that's part of the game, and you can't just be a good attacking team, you've got to defend as well.
So it's McIntosh from the dummy half to Michael Davies. The fresh legs, gets a fresh pass away to McIntosh, up towards the halfway. 10 minutes to go in the grand final. Northcote leading by 23-14. Otahuhu yet to score in the second spell, while the Tigers have added 2 tries, a drop goal and a conversion. 2 conversions, in fact. And now they've got field position as well.
Coach Graham Norton will be very happy with his Northcote players because they've stuck to what they talked about at half-time. Kicking on third tackle, keeping Otahuhu down their half of the field.
Just take a look at how they rearranged the Northcote pack of Tuimavave going into the hooker spot. Michael Davies going into his prop. Marchi and Palmata packing down to the second row. There's the front row for Otahuhu. Riley with the scrum feed. Difficult ball coming back, and Stewie Galbraith gets the steal. Tigers on the attack. Johnny Stewart, 1 metre out. If they can score now, this would wrap up the grand final. McIntosh, Marchi didn't know what was coming. Kelly Shelford says, I'll take it and give it off to Dean Clark. So a let off for the Tigers, and he doesn't like the tackle. Riley pushing off Michael Davies. Graham, switch, back to Aaron Pelele. No pace on the big fella.
This ground's starting to wear these big guys down, and Otahuhu probably should start looking at some subs now.
Mason to Riley, to Welsh, to Beasley, can't hold on to the ball. Frustration for the defending Premiers. They know they have to do something, but they keep coughing up the pill.
That play there comes down to concentration, lack of it.
Tuimavave looking for the inside runner. So it's Davies, the dummy half. He's taken over that role after Richard Greer was sent off. Oh! Jason Lowry, did he knock on? Looked like it was a knock on. The referee says no.
Good skills.
Marchi to Tuimavave, to McIntosh. Great slip ball. McIntosh, wide pass out to Palmata. Puliata tried to come in for the intercept. Referee says play on, and Otahuhu come away with it. Michael Graham to Mark Riley now. They've got to get out of their own quarter. Pelele, he knows that Rusty Martua's got some green acres out here. Has he got the pace to beat the defence? He's up over the halfway. Great tackle though by McIntosh. And Don Stewart coming back on the cover. Kelly Shelford keeps it alive. Back to Martua.
Otahuhu got them wide. They've got to get the ball out wide.
Puliata, Pelele to Riley. Going across field with no pace. Looking for the break. Davis gets the break. Back it goes to Carlima though. Intercepting the ball.
Otahuhu were too slow moving the ball wide.
Davies. This game has almost had as many twists and turns as an Agatha Christie novel. Now it's Carlima. Some of the players down to a walk in the heavy mud at Carlaw Park. Only a few showers today. 5 minutes to go. Sean Hoppy scored a sensational try which may have broken the spirit of the defending Premiers and lifted the morale of the Tigers. Lowry offloading to Galbraith. Last tackle. And he's lost the ball.
That's fine play there by young Jason Lowry. They wanted a big play. He just took the ball at pace over the advantage line. When your side's starting to get tired and guys start coming up with plays like that, everyone just lifts up.
Scrum to go down. Mark Riley to Michael Graham. Has he got the pace to get through the break? Almost sets up Kevin Puliata. Welsh hit by Tuimavave and Palmata over the top. This is the overall possession now, and a wealth of possession favouring the Tigers in the second spell. And the ball being down at the right end of the field too for the Tigers. Look at the tackle count there. Otahuhu forced to do some big defence. Dean Clark on the race. Can he link up and find Daryl Beasley? Can't. And big chance here for the Leopards. Quick play the ball by Clark to Martua. They move it wide to the chance. Mark Riley can't hold on to it. It's gone back though to Kelly Shelford. He's still looking dangerous to Michael Graham. 10 metres out to Kelly Shelford. Kelly Shelford slips an open try line. Perhaps that knee may have been affecting him as Harvey Mason slips it back in. This time Shelford will get the try. was unbelievable as they kept the ball alive. And the Otahuhu Leopards are back in the ball game, but is it too late?
This is a vital kick.
And there is the record too for Kelly Shelford. He becomes the first player to score 3 tries for 3 different clubs in Fox Grand Finals. He did it for Manukau in 85, Glenora in 88, and now he's done it for Otahuhu in 91, but he still hasn't been in a winning Grand Final. The former Kiwi standoff.
Unfortunate for Kelly. He did a lot of work here for this try.
Harvey Mason, great thinking there by the hooker. Knew that his skipper was unmarked, and well finished off by Kelly Shelford.
It comes down to awareness. Kelly stayed alive, on his feet, picked up the inside ball, crashed over for the try.
So this is a very important kick now, and it's Gavin Welsh. He scored 154 points for the Leopards. 2 points here would be valuable. Has he struck it well? Yes, he has! 23-21. We are down to 2 minutes. We are down to 2 points in the grand final. This is going to be a grandstand finish. I should say, of course, a 3-point lead, 23-20.
There too for you're there, Clint. You're going to take your hand off to Harvey Mason here. He just takes a bit of a punt, throws the ball over the top, and Kelly picks up and goes over. I think over the next couple of minutes we can see some really open footballers, Otahuhu open up and try to score the last try.
From the kick-off, what are they going to do?
It comes down to now chancing your arm. Otahuhu have shown they can score tries, but they've got to get inside Northcote's 22.
2 minutes to go in the grand final. Northcote leading by 23-20. 3 points in it. Can the Tigers hold on? Will the Leopards come back? Freshman on the field for Otahuhu. Just try and pick it up. Who it is, number 15. And that's Sean Moore from the under-19s. Riley to Clark. Up to the halfway. Desperation tackles by the Tigers defence. Riley again. Otahuhu have got the ball. They've got to use it. To Gavin Welsh with that great kick. Puliata trying to be driven towards the sideline. Jason Lowry comes in with a big hit. Can they spin it wide now? Riley puts Moore into the gap, but hit hard by Kaulima.
Northcote's ball to the scrum, Clint. It'll just be run the 6.
Costly mistake in the dying stages of what's been a fantastic Lion Red grand final in the league premiership. Scrum to go down, right on full time. 3 points the difference in the Battle of the Cats. Northcote trying to make it 5 wins out of 5 over the Leopards and going for the grand final. McIntosh from dummy half, controlling possession now. They just need the pill. Hoppy. Northcote fans waiting for the hooter. Otahuhu fans. They don't want to hear it to go. There it goes! And referee Bill Shrumpton says it's all over. The Northcote Tigers have beaten the Otahuhu Leopards by 23-20. They love it. Grand final number 3 for the Tigers. The favourites have done in a fantastic ball game.
Celebration time for Northcote. Well deserved. They were behind to start, and then they just kept digging away at Otahuhu, and that's what happens when you just keep working at your business.
Well, it really is a great moment for the Northcote players. We'll be back with the reaction in just a moment as they continue their celebrations. 23-20, a 3-point win. The Tigers win the Battle of the Big Cats. The big league, and there is the scene of celebration for the Northcote Tigers as they wrapped up their 3rd grand final today in the Fox Memorial with a sensational win over the defending premiers, the Otahuhu Leopards, as we wrap up that final scoreline, 23-20, and tries today for the Northcote Tigers by Stuart Campbell, Galbraith and Hoppy, the game-breaking try. And also tries for Clark, Beasley and Shelford. Clark getting 10 points for Otahuhu. A great comeback by the Leopards, but they couldn't bridge that 3-point gap. Northcote winning by 23-20. And celebration time for Mr. T, Tony Tuimuvavi, the skipper of the Tigers, with Eric Young.
Northcote captain Tony Tuamavavi. We've got a little bit tight there towards the end, 23-20. Did you always think Northcote could hold on?
Yeah, we always thought, we came out with the win. It was just a matter of controlling the ball, and we did that really well in the second half. It was just a matter of our defensive sliding, but we didn't slide there in the first half, which cost a lot of tries. But we managed to control it, and it was really good.
One of the important things in any game of rugby league is scoring either side of half-time, and you managed it.
Yeah, we knew we could score. It was just a matter of control of the game, but we didn't control the ball in the first half, keep on dropping the ball. Like I said, it was just a matter of holding the ball and scoring tries, and we know we could do it, and we did it, and we came off the win, so it was really good.
Well, the last 20 minutes, both sides down to 12 men, heavy ground, wide open spaces, getting a little bit tired towards the end?
Oh, it was, because you got to chase all the time with one man missing in the lineup, so you got to work twice as hard, and we managed it all right. We know our fitness could pull us through, and we did. And then our fitness is really great. We built for this game from the beginning of the season, and we won it. I'm really pleased for our team and all the managers and everybody that support us for the season, all our supporters. It was great, and they helped us well to win this Shield this year, and I'm really happy.
Tony going. Well, Otahuhu captain Kelly Shelford, a great comeback there towards the end, but just not quickly enough.
No, well, we come back late in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Northcote already had the points on the board, and the boys just couldn't pull it off in the last few minutes.
They were running the ball all around at you all day, weren't they?
Yeah, well, the ball was all over the place, and I happened to be amongst everything, so, I don't know what it is, but they played well, I have to congratulate Northcote, and our boys just hard luck on the day.
They just seemed to have the measure of you this year, didn't they? Played you 5 times, beat you 5 times.
Yeah, well, we knew we were going to, we thought we were contenders for the final, and, we weren't worried about the losses. You got beaten before, but today, they just seemed to beat us, again, and, I just don't know what to say, really.
Well, it's pretty quiet out here on a deserted Carlaw Park at the moment, but it's not under the grandstand and the changing rooms where the celebrations are continuing with Clint Brown. I'm Eric Young on behalf of Dean Lonergan. Good afternoon.
Thanks, Eric. There is the scene in the Northcote Tigers dressing room as they celebrate grand final number 3 in the history of the Tigers club. As you can see, the players enjoying that sweet taste of success. Owen Wright, your impressions of the performance today by the Tigers?
Northcote come out after half-time, Clint, with a desire and a game plan, and they carried it out right to the end. My player of the day for Northcote would have to go to their captain, Tony Tuamavavi, who just led from the front. Otahuhu, a standout player for me, Dean Clark.
And overall, the game today, a 3-point win for the Tigers. Fantastic exhibition of rugby league too.
Great game. People come here looking for an open game. Northcote supplied it. Otahuhu supplied it. Good final.
And of course, both players down to 12 men towards the end there. Pretty tight and sensational at times too, wasn't it?
Yeah, players get head rushes and they do silly things all of a sudden, but Northcote showed the character to carry on with their 12 blokes. Otahuhu struggled for a while, but all in all, Clint, a very good game.
On behalf of Owen Wright, Clint Brown, thanks for joining us today. And the 3-Sport League team will look forward to your company next time we do another big game in the great game of rugby leagues. Good afternoon.
Welcome. Welcome to the big league. Welcome. Welcome to the big league.
The winner straight into the grand final. See it in full at 6 tonight on Channel 2. And while we're with League, we come back to this side of the Tasman and Auckland Rugby League's big night on Friday, the 91 DB Gold Medal Awards, where the Auckland Refs name their Player of the Year. Special guests were the Grand Slam Kiwis of 71, and there was a surprise guest as well. That wasn't Greg Clark, but he was there.
Hundreds turned out for the big night. They're here to support players in contention for the DB Gold Medal Award, handed out every year to the Auckland referees' best and fairest player. There's no shortage of sponsors. The first prize is valued at around $20,000. But before the big announcement, there's quite a bit of reminiscing to get through. It's 20 years since our most successful team pulled off a rare feat under the guidance of coach Laurie Blanchard and captain Roy Christian.
The 1971 Kiwis are known as the Grand Slam Kiwis because they beat Australia, Great Britain and France in the one year. And it all started at Carlaw Park in that year, 1971. They took on the Aussies. Ken Sterling was making his debut for the Kiwis. It was one heck of a performance by New Zealand.
Smith this time, Tardana, Sterling, and Christian. Lowther are inside Australian territory, 25-yard line. The Whittaker, has he got the legs? There it is, try number 2. John Whittaker, the Wellingtonian, wing 3/4. Lowther, Woolard, Sterling, Krulevich. Krulevich coming up from the halfway line. There is New Zealand captain, Christian. Back it goes to Brereton. Brereton's got the Clinton on his right. Beautiful Brereton. Krulevich, Tardiner, Great, McLennan, Sterling, Whittaker, brilliant! Oh, great try!
Would you please welcome the 1971 captain, Mr. Roy Christian. Roy, looking back on some of the highlights from Australia, that was a great day. What was the feeling like?
Tremendous. It's always a good feeling when you win, isn't it?
Especially against the Ockers.
Especially against the Ockers, yes.
Were you confident going into the match?
I think we were, yes. Yes, I think in all the games that we won there, we were confident when we went in.
Well, you certainly cleaned them up, and that put you in a pretty good shape to head off to England.
Yes. Yes, and with a coach like Laurie Blanchard, you couldn't help but be confident.
Tony Krilitic. Oh, nice, beautiful run by, beautiful try. Great try by Dennis Williams. Then he dropped goals, and the one with many shots just brings 1 point. Chance for New Zealand. There's an overlap here. Bernard Lowther. Can he go on his own? He's on his own. Sullivan's across for him. This movement's still there. The fullback's there. Can he go on to the post? Fullback to fullback. He's run and got a good try indeed by John Whittaker. With the score 13-12. Oh, Sterling got through nicely. Looking for the Port Orchard. Orchard's in. There's no doubt Orchard's in. Second time it is in. Krilitic using Robin Orchard. Robin Orchard and his try. Robin Orchard turned away, turned inside, and the strength of the subs.
The man that was in charge of the playing strength, and that's the coach Laurie Blanchard, who's also with us for this 20th anniversary reunion of the 1971 Kiwis. What were the celebrations like that night? Can you remember?
Oh, my very word. It wasn't only the night, it was all next day too.
Well, there was more business to complete because the second test was at Castleford, and New Zealand really on the verge of trying to win their first series on British soil. Did you think you could do it?
I always had great confidence in the side. In 1970, we went over in the World Cup. I spoke at the Auckland Leagues Club. I said that the team would win the World Cup. We didn't. So the next year I said, we will definitely do it for you this year, and we did it.
And Great Britain in trouble with that one. Really a set piece. Play the ball. Overlap here. Chased by Esther. This is the danger man. Orchard has gone past one. He's the danger man. He's the danger man. Is he given a try? Has he given a try? The referee, they're feeling about. Did he bounce it? There is a try. It's a try. This is that was the danger man, and it's a try. Watkins, can he save the game? Good tackle by Christian. And the referee's going to blow his whistle for time. Going to blow his whistle for time as New Zealand take this series after winning the first test at Salford. They've now come to Castleford and will remember for all their life what Chelsea, Cheltenham and Castleford mean, because that's when they've won the test series. So from Castleford, to remind you of the score, Great Britain 14 points, New Zealand 17 points.
Roy, your feelings after wrapping up the series?
Oh, it's a tremendous feeling and so happy because even though there was 15 players or 13 out on the field with the reserves coming on, the 26 players were one team, and everyone felt that they'd played a part in it. So it was tremendous.
After wrap.
John Coffey, ladies and gentlemen, from the Christchurch Press. Roy, anyone else there would they like to say a quick word? We're running short of time. I know you're going to...
Next up, it was time to introduce the mystery guest.
53 matches for New Zealand, including 32 tests. He was captain for 17 of those test matches. He graced the scene from 1982 to 1990. Continental Airlines, who else, have flown him from Australia to be with us tonight. Would you please welcome the great Hugh McGann. Well, what about your debut for the Kiwis? It came along in 1982. Cess Mountford was the coach back in those days, and you came on as a replacement against Australia. Australia won the test, but obviously fond memories of that first feel of test match footy.
The only thing I can remember about that test is it was the most frightening experience I've ever had. I really can't remember a great deal about it. It's just a blank. I apparently made this break when I ran about 15, 20 yards, which to me is a long, long distance, especially nowadays. But I really don't know. I remember making that break, but if no one had tackled me, I'd have run straight over the dead ball line. I can tell you that for sure, because I just didn't know where I was going. Everything was just a blur, was a mess, and I would have run straight over the line, so it would have been a great debut. It was the most committed side I'd ever played with, and that alone, a game itself, would be one that really would be up near the top.
Hugh McGann was a popular guest. He's retired as a player, but he believes he has a role to play in coaching.
Where's Richmond?
Next up, it was time for the 10 leading contenders in the DB Gold Medal Award to be introduced on stage.
The attitude.
Mystery envelopes were open to reveal the Auckland Rugby League referee's best and fairest player for 1991.
The DB Gold Medal winner for 1991. Once again, it's Otahuhu and it's Aaron Palele.
I'd just like to thank everyone for this award. It's been the highlight of my career, so I'm so excited. I'd also like to say a very special thank you to
annual village cricket match, a special occasion tonight on One. 8:30 tonight, live coverage of the Trotters final from the Inter-Dominion Series at Alexandra Park.
But a tall Scotch nut with 100 metres to go.
Will New Zealand Sunbon clean them up again? See it live, 8:30 tonight on One World of Sport. On Television One.